Jesus knows that God hears every cry and whisper, from the quietest sighs of the brokenhearted to the desperate pleas of those in overwhelming distress. Nothing escapes the ears of God. He teaches that every word spoken in faith, every silent prayer, every tear shed in solitude is known to the Father. Jesus, who lived fully in communion with God, understood that divine attention is not limited by the loudness of our voices or the public display of our needs. The shepherd does not only notice the flock that bleats loudly, he is mindful of the one sheep that wanders silently, fearful and unseen. When we feel invisible or unheard, it is often because we measure God's attentiveness by human standards. But Jesus reassures us that God's awareness transcends our perception. In times of suffering, when our cries seem lost in the shadows of our pain, Jesus reminds us that God is intimately aware of every detail of our lives. He knows the depths of our anguish and the weight of our fears. Even the whispered prayers of the weary are gathered by God's loving hands, cherished and carried to the throne of heaven. Jesus also demonstrates that God's listening is paired with action. Hearing is not passive, it is a prelude to intervention. Whether through comfort, guidance, healing, or miraculous provision, God responds in ways often unseen but always purposeful. Jesus teaches that faith in this truth does not depend on immediate resolution or visible results. Trusting that God hears every cry and whisper is an act of surrender, a declaration that even when the world is silent, heaven is attentive. Moreover, Jesus shows compassion for those who struggle to believe they are heard. He draws near to the lonely, the oppressed, the misunderstood, and whispers reassurance. You are not forgotten. Your words reach the heart of God. In his ministry, he reminds us that God's attention is not selective. It is universal, personal, and unceasing. Every sigh, every plea, every hope, tucked in the secret corners of the soul is significant. Through Jesus, we learn that no cry is too small and no whisper too faint. God is listening, always fully, lovingly. In this, we find comfort, courage, and the peace that surpasses understanding. To trust in this is to live in the assurance that we are never alone, never unheard, and never beyond the reach of divine love. If you want, I can also make a version as a gentle, conversational story between Jesus and a young child, keeping the same for 100-word length. It can feel more personal and relatable. Do you want me to do that? Create a logo with "Put God First." On the top right,